We have a lot to get to this Wednesday morning, but we're going to start with a bond proposal sparking outrage from parents, teachers, staff members, and community, all within Houston ISD. For many, it's been a year of ups and downs following the polarizing state takeover. 1 year ago, you might recall, Texas Education Agency appointed Superintendent Mike Miles to lead HISD. Today, there's discussion of a bond proposal. It's called Renew HISD, standing at a whopping $4.4 billion, one of the largest school bonds in state history. And now the district is seeking approval from voters, but it comes without community pushback. Joining me now to discuss what this means is KPRC2 reporter Rilwan Balogun. Good morning, sir. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Hey, good morning, Zach.
Hey, so listen, we know this bond is one of the largest in the history of Texas. In the previous week, we've had committee members come on this show, KPRC 2 Plus now at 8, to talk about the amount, the $4.4 billion we just referenced, where it would go to technology, modernization, both of curriculum and then of course the infrastructure, especially those schools who damaged during recent storms. My question to you this morning, though, if approved, how would this affect taxpayers?
Well, that's a big selling point for the district. They're saying this will not have any increases in the taxes. They're saying this is a way, because of the way that they're going to have the money be distributed, it'll be a way that it doesn't see any new tax increase. I tried to ask the district for an interview on that specifically yesterday, trying to really get them to explain how we won't see a tax increase. So I'm still waiting on further answers on that. But the district is selling that with this $4.4 billion bond, there will be no increase in taxes. It's still something we're trying to figure out how that will be possible if it is approved by voters.
With that, I'm assuming it's being received well to that extent. But what has been the overall response from the community?
So I spoke with two parents yesterday who brought an interesting perspective for me that I didn't really think of. These are parents who have been at board meetings throughout the year, sharing their frustrations with the change in the district and how they, along with other people, wanted to have more of a say of what's going on in the district. They share that they believe, since this board of managers were not elected, they were appointed by the superintendent, who was appointed by the TEA Commissioner Mike Morath. They say this is an opportunity for people in the Houston ISD community to vote. This will be a first time for them to vote. They weren't able to vote for the board of managers. They weren't able to have a say in who the superintendent was. But they say this bond proposal will be a referendum on how they believe the district has been heading in what they say is the wrong direction.
Yeah, that really is interesting. And especially, as you know, we hear the district trying to encourage members to participate in that process now. What is it? How has it been like for HISD and the district to assure parents and to help the overall community really understand the district's needs?
Yeah, the district has been hosting these community meetings for the last few days. There will be another one on Monday where they've been sharing this presentation, this PowerPoint, explaining how the money would be spent, not really going into clear detail, as I'm trying to get how much each penny will be contributed to the district, but they're kind of talking in overall generalities how the money will be spent. And at these meetings, this is where community members have an opportunity to really get answers and ask the district leaders specific questions they have about the bond proposal itself. So the two parents I spoke with yesterday, they said they didn't have it in their schedules to attend some of these meetings. And that's another issue they have. They wish there was more time for all of this to have a larger discussion with the community, more than beyond just these last few weeks or so of these open meetings. They wish there was just more time spent with trying to get their input on how this bond proposal could be used.
So in addition to those 5 meetings the district has set aside, they're saying that they wish this conversation started earlier in the school year.
Exactly that. So for a while, Superintendent Miles was alluding to a bond for some time, saying, hey, if we had a bond, we could get X, Y, and Z done. Parents that I spoke with said, At that point, they should have just started the conversation earlier, have more input from the community. So by the point where we are now, where they're talking about the bond proposal, they would have more buy-in from community members.
As you mentioned, you had a conversation with some parents. We have a clip of that dialogue. Let's take a listen.
You were to, if the was for today on this $4.4 billion bond proposal, how would you vote, Andrea?
I support schools very much, but I think I would at this point vote no. I think the lack of trust is really central. I would like to be able to really trust that the people who are making those decisions have the right have our children in mind and the right values in mind. And I think a lot of parents aren't feeling that at this moment.
What about you, Jay? What would you, if you had to vote today, would you support this bond proposal that the district's putting forward?
Oh, no, I definitely would not. I would not, because it's just, it's a huge amount of money. And I would have to be comfortable, and I voted for state things that are to support education across the state. Well, the state is holding back these billions of dollars for education funding, so I'm feeling sort of like, even from the state level to this unelected board, like they're taking money and then what are they doing with it? They're not spending it where they say they're going to, and I feel like I just can't trust them, like, to even do the basics.
Two parents, two responses, both no. I feel as if, though, the first mom we heard from might be able to be convinced, whereas the second parent was an adamant absolutely not, and here's why. This obviously, Rilwan, is reflective of the greater community here, right? A lot of questions, a lot of concerns still today.
Listen, both of those parents say they would support this bond proposal. They said most of the things that they've read in the proposal itself, that's what we did yesterday. We went through the presentation the district does, along with going over the booklets, information they provided. They said they support what's happening or what the district is proposing. But because of how the district has handled things through this school year, they don't trust. You heard them both say trust. They don't trust how the district would fully implement any of these programs or any of these ways they say they want to further grow or further make things better in the district. They don't trust how the leaders in the district right now will fully implement this bond if it were to be approved. Bonds that they both approve of, that they would support, but said they'll vote no.
And therefore, again, vote no because of that trust being a factor on how the past school year has played out. Next steps here.
So this summer, this is where the district will start making some plans. Part of a bunch of the money, $2 billion for it, would go to new schools or renovating some schools. So this summer there will be designing things, and then would come in the November, it would be up to voters to decide whether they want to support or vote against the bond proposal itself.
Okay, this was what, meeting number 3 out of 5?
This was meeting number 4 that happened yesterday.
Okay.
The 5th and final meeting scheduled for June 10th at Forest Brook Middle School. That'll be from 6 to 8 p.m. Again, that will be the final time as of now where parents and community members will really have a time to question district leaders and district officials on this bond proposal. Again, that's Monday, June 10th at Forest Brook Middle School, 6 to 8 o'clock.
And I understand you have to RSVP ahead of time.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. All good information. Rilwan, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We do appreciate it. To read the full bond proposal and Rilwan's report, head on over to our website, click2houston.com, and there you can search HISD on your instant search tool at the top left corner of your screen.